If you're over 50 and you keep telling yourself you'll start your online business soon, but every time you try to start, you feel strangely heavy and you do nothing, that's not just procrastination. That's your brain reacting to confusion. And once you understand this, starting becomes easier. And when you know what's really happening, you'll stop fighting yourself. A lot of women tell me this. They want to start their online business. They think about it often, but every time they try to move forward, something inside them feels tight and heavy. They feel this pressure. They do nothing about it. Or they scroll a lot but still do nothing. So let me ask you something. Have you ever sat there thinking about starting, knowing you want more, but instead of feeling excited, you feel mentally weighed down? Not tired, not bored, just heavy? That heaviness usually means your brain is trying to solve too many decisions at the same time without a clear starting point. Because the moment you decide you'll start, you notice your mind gets noisy. You will hear posts there, you'll think of building this, you will learn something new here, you'll watch this, you'll join here. And suddenly your brain is trying to hold everything all at once, and then you do nothing. Instead of moving forward, you freeze. Not because you're weak, and not because you're lazy. It's simply because you're overloaded, and that triggers protection. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, I'm Lorna. I help women over 50 build online income with clarity instead of overwhelm. Most women I speak to care real deeply. You want freedom, you want purpose, you want to build something meaningful, something that reflects who you are now, not who you were years ago. And you're not afraid of learning, and you're not afraid of effort, but you just don't know where to begin, and nothing is clear. And not knowing is where pressure starts to build. That pressure makes simple decision feels really complicated. So instead of moving forward calmly, you start protecting yourself by waiting. You tell yourself you'll start soon. And that's how many good women stay stuck. Not because they don't care, but because the starting point never feels safe enough. So how do you move through that tension? How do you let go of it? Well, it's not by forcing discipline, and it's not by pushing harder. You move it by simplifying the order of your steps. When your brain knows exactly what comes first, it relaxes. It stops overthinking. It stops trying to protect you from getting it wrong. Because now there's structure, there is direction, there is clarity. And when you take the next small step, that's how progress becomes steady instead of exhausting. Here's the truth: clarity creates calm, clarity creates movement, and movement rebuilds confidence. When you're clear on the order of action, everything slows down, everything becomes simpler. You know what comes first, what comes later, and what can wait, and what doesn't matter as yet. But without clarity, everything feels urgent. Everything feels important and everything gets heavy. When I started, I felt this pressure too. Not because I wasn't motivated and not because learning was hard, but simply because everything was explained out of order. I was looking at advanced strategies before I understood foundations. I was trying to build systems before I understood structure. And I definitely was consuming a lot of information without knowing actually what applied to me and where I was in my journey. Once I finally had a clear starting point, I stopped freezing every time I opened my laptop. And I didn't feel that dread anymore. I felt steady, and movement became easier. Not perfect and not fast, but definitely easier. So if you're watching this and thinking, I really want to do this, while at the same time I'm feeling stuck, that makes sense. Because what you're responding to is not failure, and it's not laziness, and it's not a lack of discipline. It's a lack of clarity and direction. And once that's solved, the weight starts to lift. Now, if you want a calm place to start without overthinking, I have linked the beginner system I personally use below. It shows you exactly what comes first, what comes next, and what can wait. There is no rushing. There is no pressure. There is no trying to hold everything all at once. And you can explore it calmly on your own terms, in your own time. And you don't have to figure this out alone either. So start here. Take your first steady step, and I'll see you there. And until next time, I'm Lorna.